My wife and her sister fired me the moment they took over the company. They don't need lazy people like you, they mocked. I just smiled, nodded, and walked away. The next morning, their father slammed his hand on the table. Why the hell did you fire him? Didn't you even read the contract? When they finally did, their faces turned white because the contract was something they never expected. The silence in that boardroom, once a weapon used against me, now encased them in their shame. Olivia and her sister tried to argue legal recourse, their voices rising from panic to hysteria, but the contract was ironclad. Mr. Sterling, his face a map of disbelief and utter humiliation, merely looked defeated. His attempts to interject, mumbling about good faith and family ties, were met with my unwavering focus on the document. I allowed the contempt to settle, then delivered my final executive order, my voice cutting through the tension. The corporate council is instructed to proceed with the immediate dissolution of the current board and to prepare for my total divestiture. The fallout was immediate and crippling. Mr. Sterling, the man who taught me that business is war, was forced to watch his daughter's corporate ambition and a significant portion of the family's liquid wealth evaporate because he trusted his arrogance over the fine print. His personal appeals were relentless but futile. I refused to acknowledge them. For me, this wasn't about negotiation. It is about demonstrating a fundamental truth. Respect is earned through competence, not entitlement. I didn't want the company back. I had merely sought justice. For the years of sacrifice and the calculated humiliation, I spent the next 2 weeks systematically dismantling their influence. I refused to sell the controlling shares back to Olivia or her father, denying them any chance of recovery. Instead, I orchestrated a premium sale to their most formidable competitor, a transaction meticulously structured to transfer not just ownership, but the inherent strategic advantage they held. The irony was the definitive victory. They had tried to steal the company, only for me to deliver it, at great profit, to their most hated rival. The premium I secured for my shares was vast, a tangible reward for their collective ignorance. The divorce followed swiftly. The pre-signed papers, prepared months before I even knew the depth of Olivia's duplicity, combined with my unassailable financial and legal leverage, ensured it was uncontested and entirely in my favor. The only correspondence I ever received from Olivia after the boardroom was a single, rambling email filled with accusations of cruelty and veiled threats of immediate war. I replied with a single attachment, the final bank transfer receipt, showing the substantial amount I had realized from the sale of my shares. Below the number, I added 2 sentences that served as my final closure, a permanent verdict on our 10 years together. You sought to discard a founding partner. You succeeded in liquidating your entire future. There is no one to blame but the woman who failed to read the rules of engagement. I never heard from her again. I exchanged the exhausting noise of the executive suite for the profound quiet of my own life, secured by a fortune that was truly mine. They were left with an empty title, a hostile new majority owner, and the perpetual, humiliating knowledge that their ambition was destroyed not by external forces, but by a clause I wrote and they were too arrogant to examine. The war was over. I had been fired, but I was the only one who walked away truly free. The price of their greed was the total loss of their future. The reward for my patience was absolute, dignified peace.